Hi everyone, today we're going to be looking at market research. It's probably one of the most daunting tasks that you might have when you're first starting in the affiliate marketing industry, and especially obviously starting in Amazon Associates affiliate marketing website. The reason it's so daunting, I guess, is because there's so many different ways that you can go about doing market research. Everyone has their own methods and own preferences. And in this video, I guess I'm just going to be showing you mine. By all means, tweak it, mold it, completely ignore it. It's completely up to you. There's various ways of going about this, and I'm just basically just going to show you through the past, 10 years of doing affiliate marketing. This is sort of where I've got to, and this is how I'm currently doing my market research. In the past couple of years, it's changed. I used to use different methods, but over the years I found that those methods just weren't as efficient or as effective as this method is that I'm going to show you today. So yeah, we're going to start with what tools that I use. There's a couple of essential tools which I find just help the whole process. They are paid tools. You will need them to sort of use the same method that I'm using. Now I don't know everyone's financial situation. However, I would say that if you can afford it, it's definitely worth the investment. If you can't afford it, then we can discuss in another video, other techniques and ways of doing so. After that, we'll basically deep dive into how I begin my market research. And next, we'll be looking at how I take the data that I've got through the market research, import it into Excel, and how I basically analyze that data, how I format my sheets, what formulas I use, if any, and then the next steps will be basically just concluding and discussing what we're gonna go into tomorrow in day 3. So yeah, let's begin. First off, what tools do I use? It's probably going to be no surprise that SEMrush is the first tool that I mention. Whilst my blog is new, I've already mentioned it 3 or 4 times. It's my favorite tool, my favorite piece of software. It is a paid piece of software. It's $69.95 a month, I think, for the pro account, which is what I use. It's enough, basically. I did mention yesterday on the blog that you can get a free trial. Well, actually, it's not a free trial. It's basically you're able to get a refund within 7 days. So if you did purchase it and you are obviously wanting to save money, then what you can do is you can purchase it and then use it for 7 days and then basically get a refund. Now, I know 7 days isn't a lot, but if you're just starting out and you want to save money and you want to be as efficient as possible with the time that you use, then obviously having a refund daunting over the 7 day period means that you're going to have to use it quite quickly. And 7 days is enough to really dig deep into the markets and obviously analyze the competitors and such. So yeah, if you've not got it and you don't want to spend that money, then buy it and then get the refund after 7 days. I'll put some links into the refund policy so you can read it and obviously ensure that you understand it and whatnot. Yeah, so the next one is Moz Pro. Now, many of you are probably familiar with Moz. They obviously have their SEO and internet marketing blog. They also have the OSE, which is the Open Site Explorer tool, which is free, which a lot of people use to analyze the domain's domain authority and page authority, as well as obviously backlinks to that website, to that domain. However, you might not be familiar with the keyword difficulty tool because, well, it's a paid tool, so you need to have the Moz Pro account. I can't remember off the top of my head how much Moz is, but I do know it's quite expensive. I think maybe it's $99.99 or $99.95 a month, something like that. And you basically get access to their Moz Pro suite, which comes with various different tools and functionality. But the main tool, if not the only tool really that I use on a frequent basis, is the keyword difficulty tool. Now, what this tool does is it basically allows you to analyze a keyword and analyze the SERPs for that keyword, the search engine results pages for that keyword, and basically look at whether or not it's competitive, and if it's not competitive, you get a low score, and if it is competitive, you get a high score. Now, generally the scores are between 0 and 50. I'm not sure if it goes above 50 actually. And what you want to look out for is basically any keyword that has a keyword difficulty score below 35. But if it's a brand new site, then I'd be looking more at below 25. The next tool I'm going to be looking at is Longtail Pro, which I'm sure a lot of you are already familiar with. It's similar to Moz Pro's keyword difficulty tool. However, obviously their calculations and the algorithm behind how they calculate a keyword difficulty score for a keyword is slightly different. So you will get different results. However, I do believe that when I'm looking at my last and final keyword data set, that getting both of these scores is pretty lucrative and quite important to actually analyze whether or not that keyword's competitive or not. You will sometimes find that the same keyword can have a completely different score, which is a little bit scary, I guess. But at the end of the day, these are just tools there to help you along the way. Nothing that they provide is 100% accurate, you know. It's a calculation at the end of the day and an algorithm, and they're always refining them and tweaking them. And lastly, obviously Microsoft Excel, which I'm sure you're all familiar with. And if you don't have Microsoft, obviously there's Google Docs, which is free, and various other things. Okay, so let's get started. First, we're going to go into Chrome and we're going to look at this website. You might be familiar with this website, you might not. Consumer Search is basically I'd say one of the most established affiliate marketing websites, especially for Amazon associates, and especially with this type of design that it has. It's very similar to what a lot of us in the industry create, just on a larger basis. Basically what they do is they basically categorize similar to how Amazon categorizes its products. And basically if you go into one of these, such as, let's go to single cup coffee makers, they basically provide a summary review of products in this niche, basically. So they provide a small summary here, a link obviously to Amazon with their affiliate ID. You can compare prices, which is quite cool. They have a buying guide, a full report, which is like a consumer report of various types of product within this coffee market, and a full review for each of these. Actually, no, they don't have a full review for each of these, just for a couple of them actually. This site is really cool because, well, it's simple. It's a very simple design. It's not something complex. It's not something that would cost a lot to make. They're basically using a very, very similar approach that the majority of affiliate marketers, you know, like myself and others in the industry use, just on a much larger scale. Now, the history to consumersearch.com, it was started by, I think it was two guys in 2001 or 1999 or something like that. They started the site. They got some seed investment from whatever company. They hired writers. They had an office somewhere in the US. They basically built it out over several years, I think 3 or 4 years. And then Ask came along, you know, Ask.com, Ask Jeeves, those guys. They came along and basically said, yeah, we're going to buy it. So they purchased it for $30 million. Now at that time I think they were making 7 figures a year or 6 figures a year. I should have really got these details beforehand. Anyway, I'll find it and put it in the post along with this article. But basically, the short story is these guys set up the site. They got a bit of seed investment. They sold it to About.com, Ask.com, those guys, for $30 million. And then Ask sold it to IAC in 2007 or 2011 for $300 million as a part of a larger package, which was basically called the About Group, which included Consumer Search, About.com, and various other ones. So they did pretty well out of it. The website obviously still makes a significant amount of money. I think it gets just over 1 million unique views a month, which we'll go into in a minute. So the reason I'm mentioning this is because with SEMrush and various other tools, but in this example we're going to be using SEMrush, we can analyze exactly the type of keywords that this website's ranking for, the products, the pages that are most popular. So it's really, really, really powerful. So let's jump into SEMrush. So this is SEMrush. Hello. Here we're going to basically look at consumersearch.com, and basically all you do is you type it into the top box there, comes up. You can have a look at various different countries. However, for this, we're going to look at the US. I would ignore this only because it's not very, very accurate. As I mentioned in one of my first posts on the blog, SEMrush is definitely not the most accurate tool when it comes to calculating the overall amount of the overall amount of visitors a website gets. However, what we're going to be looking at here is we're going to be going to organic research, and here we're going to be looking at, again, ignore this, and just to point out, this on the right hand side, this graph is basically aggregating the last 30 days traffic. So this is not daily traffic, this is the last 30 days. So that's the last 30 days prior to 11th, prior to the 12th, prior to the 13th. That's why there's a slight difference each day. But yes, this is the last 30 days. It's not daily. However, I will tell you to ignore this because it's just pointless. It's not relevant at all. Knowing that this website gets 422,000 visitors every 30 days from organic search is just makes no difference really. So yeah, let's ignore that. What we do want to be looking at here is, one, the amount of keywords, the amount of queries this website appears for, 477,000. That's a lot. And next, we're going to be looking at individual keywords. So this table shows you the main keywords that it ranks for. You can obviously filter this by the keyword here, as you can see, best water filter picture, position 1, volume. The volume is taken from, I think it's taken from Google using their API. If it's not taken from Google, it's taken from a similar keyword tool. So things like the volume, the CPC, the position is very, very accurate, I would say. So these are the 3 metrics that you want to be focusing on. Things like the traffic percentage, again, is probably quite accurate, but I ignore it. The cost is going to be quite accurate, I guess, but again, I ignore it. I would ignore this, ignore this, ignore this, ignore this, ignore this. Anything after the URL, I tend to just ignore. I just focus on these. And even the CPC, I don't really care about it myself. Some people do use the CPC as a indicator as how profitable a market could be, but in my experience, it doesn't really make any difference. So yeah, the main ones I look at is keyword, position, volume, and then later on URL. So yeah, if we just quickly look through this, we can see the main keywords are best mattress, where it ranks 6th position. So it gets 40,000 searches a month, that keyword. So this website, you can imagine it would, it might get, let's just say 5,500 visitors from that. Next, carbon monoxide detector, 40,000, ranking 11th. Best water filter picture, it's ranking 1st, 3,600, that's quite good. And that's obviously the type of keyword we're going to be looking at, because it's the search intent of the user is obviously highly aimed towards actually purchasing. So the purchasing intent, sorry. Consumer research and consumer search, obviously they're branded. Coffee grinder reviews, 2,900, 1st position. So yeah, this is what we're going to be looking at. Now the reason I start my market research with competitor research and looking at these big affiliate sites is because they have so much data. Look, 477,000 queries. Now you can go ahead and start your market research by brainstorming hobbies and interests you have, but inevitably you're going to come to a limit. Not many people have over 5 or 10 hobbies and interests. So when you've got to that point, you've hit your maximum. What do you do next? And another thing is, I was thinking about this, is like a lot of people's hobbies and interests are obviously similar. If we're looking at a niche site, then it's niche because there's not as many people that are interested in it. It's niche because it's a smaller data set, a smaller market than, football. So if you're looking at your hobbies and you're thinking football, that football's huge. So you need to get more niche than that really for a new site, unless you went the approach of having an authority site. So yeah, I don't really advise looking at brainstorming market research from your own hobbies and interests. That's a good starting point, I guess, to just warm up. But really, I like to go to sites like Consumer Search and really dig deep into, what they're doing. They're the professionals. These guys are operating huge multi-million-dollar businesses. You know, consumer search is owned by IAC. IAC own everything. They are a huge company. They own, I think they own the Match group, which is like Match.com, Tinder, and all of those dating sites. They own multiple other huge websites in various industries. So you should really be taking a look at what they do, because you know, they have investors, they have shareholders, they have stakeholders. They need to do the right thing, really. They need to grow the right way, and by looking at their sites you can see what they're doing and how they're growing. And just to actually mention, consumer search haven't changed their site design in years, so maybe that's also a good point to take on board, is the fact that they have over 1 million people going to their website every month and their web design hasn't changed. So is this a pretty decent web design? Is it effective? I would say if they've not changed it, and they obviously can change it anytime they want, then yeah, I would say it probably is. Now I'm not saying copy it, I'm just saying, you know, take some inspiration from it. So okay, I'm talking quite a lot, so let's try and move on. So yeah, so here we can have a look at the keywords. Now what I usually like to start to do here is, before I go on to the next step, is filters. Now there's various different filters you can use, such as keyword, keyword type, category, numbers, positions, blah blah blah. So what I usually go for is position, then I do less than 5, and then I do add one more, and I do keyword containing best, and then apply. Hopefully this will work. Okay, did that work? Sort of. Why is it not included best? I had this issue the other day, sorry about this. Okay, let's just do this one first. Yeah, I don't know why I had this issue the other day, but it wouldn't let me filter by 2 things. So let me just try this again. Sorry. Containing best. Come on. That should work. If not, then I can do it another way. Okay, so let's just ignore the best part for now, and let's just go with position less than 5. The reason I look at position less than 5 is because, for one, it obviously shows keywords that this website's ranking for in obviously a position less than 5. It means that if this website's ranking, then there's a possibility that you could rank. Actually, I take that back. When I look at more niche websites, so we'll go into that in the future, but when I look at sites like this, authority sites, the only reason I look at position less than 5 is because if they can rank, then there is a possibility that you can rank. However, it's a slight possibility, the fact that this is a massive authority website. But the reason I don't look at greater than 5 is because if this website can't rank for them, then there's a chance that you probably can't rank for them, especially with a brand new site. Now, to counter that argument, or counter that statement, there is obviously the fact that this website obviously isn't doing SEO for every single query that they've got. They've got 477,000, so you could argue that, you know, they might be ranking 10th or 15th for a query, not because they can't rank first, but because they're not trying to. So there's many ways of going about it, but when you have 467,000 or 470,000 queries, you need to start filtering those queries. So actually, let's start with this instead. Let's go with best. Oops, can't type. The reason that we're looking at best related keywords is because, as I mentioned just then, it's got the highest purchasing intent of a user. If someone's looking for best mattress, best water filter picture, then they are in the market to buy. And this isn't working again. I don't know why it's not working. SEMrush is not doing good on this example, is it? Okay, so what we're going to do here is... Why is it not working? Okay, let's just say it is working. Usually I would download this data to Excel, but I don't want to download 477,000. You do have a limit, you can only download the first 10,000, so there is a way we can do this by obviously filtering by volume and position or number of words. So let's do another way. So there's loads of different things you can do here. So let's do it another way. We're going to look at number of words greater than 4 and apply. Now what we're doing here is we're trying to focus on long tail queries to assume we're assuming that long tail queries are easier to rank for, which in most cases they are. So by looking at long tail queries with more than 4 keywords per query, they should be easier to rank for. So we're going to do 5 only because there's 37,000 on 4. So let's have a look at 5. We want to get it about 10,000 or under, just because then we can export it all. So 5's got 15,000. Let's try 6. Okay, here we go, 7,500. Okay, so now what we do is we export this data. Let's go to CSV. Oh, how do I find this? Okay, so it's just exporting now. So my computer's pretty slow at the moment. I've got a lot of things open. Okay, here we go. Remove all of these, just because I don't look at them. And then open these up slightly bigger. The URL I'll move for now because again we don't really need to look at it. The CPC we can move for now. Previous position don't care about. And then what we do is we filter. We open it up. And then what we can do is we can have a look, sort by position. We can also filter by best now. So let's type in best here. Now this will just show us everything that's got best in. So here we go. There's, how many is these? There is, give me a second, 4,378 with best in. So that's not bad. That's a good start. So, you know, compare this to how else you could do market research, where you're not going to get 4,500 queries from one single download. That could be obviously relevant, you know, new markets for you to go in. So this is a pretty effective way of analyzing data on a large scale. So this is the start of what I do. So what I'd do here is I'd probably label this queries with 6, with 6 plus keywords, something like that. And then I'd go back to here. And then I'd do the same for 5. And then maybe if this works, do less than 6. I think this works. It should do, but yeah, it looks like SEMrush filters are a bit weird today. Nothing found. Okay, this is great. Okay. Okay, so here's 30,000. So this is where I always have an issue with SEMrush, is because they limit it to 10,000. You could obviously download 10,000 and 10,000 and 10,000, but the issue is I've not found a quick way of actually getting to the next 10,000. There's obviously a lot of pages here, and I don't want to just keep going through them. Actually, I've just thought of a way. Maybe I could do it this way, by actually changing URL up here. So how many is per page here? Is it 50 per page? No, 100 per page. So okay, 10,000 would be 100 pages. So if you go to 101, does this work? Maybe? I've never done this before, but maybe it'll work. It will. Amazing. Okay. What does this do? Why does it change the amount of... Oh, I need to upgrade. Okay, sorry. I didn't actually realize that. Okay, so a pro account only allows you to take 10,000 from one dataset. That sucks. Anyways, yeah, so what I'd do here is I'd download the first 10,000, obviously. So export to data. Open this. Damn it. Oh, okay. I'm waiting for it. Whilst it's downloading, I'll do another tab here, queries with, what is it, 4 plus keywords. Open this up. Delete this. Copy and paste these. Just wait till that copies. It's a lot of data. Paste it here. And then there we go. We've got keywords with 6 plus and 4 plus. That's a pretty good starting point. You're looking at, what, 15,000 queries now? Which is, actually no more because we filtered by best. So we're looking at, like, I think 17,000 queries. That is a good starting point. And all of these queries have, you know, 4 plus keywords per query, which means it's long tail. They're obviously in various different categories and markets, which is great because it means we can sample, you know, the sample size is huge. It means we can really dig deep into various different markets. Like, let's just quickly look. So we've got truck tires, so we could do a website about comparing tires or truck tires. We've got prepaid cell phone plans. I'd probably advise against that since it's quite competitive. However, if you wanted, you could do cell phone plan website. Hot water heaters, lotion and moisturizer for skin, flea treatment for dogs, something I've looked in before, and it can. I'll just give this away. It could possibly be quite a good niche. The reason I say this is because AdSense CPCs are quite good for this, and okay, I feel a bit bad giving away this niche because I was actually going to potentially go into it in the future, but I've not got time. So flea treatment could be a potentially good niche. There's quite a lot of long tails there. As well as that, AdSense CPCs are quite high, and there's a couple of products on Amazon which, they go against me when I say look for a product that's $500 or more. I think this product's like $40 or $50, but this is mass market. A lot of people will purchase this product, and I think on Amazon the product has like, I don't know, 10,000 reviews or something. Actually, let's have a quick look. Can't remember what it's called. I think it's not adrenaline. What's it called? Adrenaline? No, not adrenaline. Okay, let's just type in flea treatment. Sorry, I ramble quite a lot. Where is it? Frontline, that's it. So let's type in Frontline. Frontline. They sell a lot. Okay, why is it saying it's by Muriel? So I mean, yeah, just look at what I'm doing right now. I've just seen one keyword, and now I'm looking in Amazon for the products that Advantix, that's it, that I could sell. And here's a couple. Here's Bayer Advantix 2 extra large dogs over 55 pounds. 3,000 reviews. It sells for $65. Actually, it's quite expensive. $65. If you're getting if you're just starting and you've got 4% commission, $65. That is 10% is 6.4. 1% is 0.64. It's like, I don't know my maths. It's like $2 or $3. It's not much, but we're talking volume here, and it'll help you get to the larger commission tiers, which again I'm going to discuss in another case study, another post on my website. This is just an idea. Look, Bayer Advantage for large cats, fat cats basically. So flea control for fat cats, $4,352. 119 reviews, $65. This is just an example, but yeah, there was a niche I was looking into, and the competition is not too bad. And obviously, there's a lot of things as well around flea, like tips for keeping dogs and cats clean. Actually, if we just search this by flea, I wonder how many terms there are. But there's a lot. Wow. 137, that's not bad. 137 keywords around flea treatment, and there is some 28,000 queries. That is pretty damn good. For a very, very small niche, that's a pretty good amount of traffic. And obviously this isn't all the traffic that's available, it's just 137 that they're ranking for that are 4+ in keywords, and we had 30,000 obviously in SEMrush, but we could only download 10,000, so there could be another 300 or 400. So yeah, it's not bad. It's a pretty good niche to start with. I'm thinking about it now. Okay, so let's go back. So yeah, this is how we start. This is where I usually start, consumersearch.com. This is how I usually filter. Then I download into Excel. Now obviously people watching this are going to be concerned that now you've seen how I do it, hundreds of other people are going to do it the exact same way. Now, I'm not really that bothered about that. One reason is because a lot of people just don't take action for whatever reason. And secondly, Consumer Search is a huge website. 477,000 queries. It will take quite a lot of people to cover every niche. However, if you are worried, and another thing I generally do is, after I've looked at one website, I'll go to competitors here on the left-hand side navigation. And what I'll do is wait for it to load. And then what we can do is we can look at various other websites that have common keywords, so are ranking for similar keywords in Google. And you can see the amount of keywords they're ranking for. the search volume traffic, which again I sort of ignore, but just for a as a snapshot, it's worth checking out. But generally, I just focus on these two here. So this got 20,000 keywords in common, 45,000 keywords, 50,000 keywords, 17,000. Another good thing about the competitions segment in SEMrush is it doesn't just give you really, really large sites, it also gives you niche sites. So you've got, like here, you've got also watch out for these e-commerce sites that, Bed Bath and Beyond, it's e-commerce, so it's not going to be relevant. But here you've got obviously smaller sites, like obviously Popular Mechanics is a tool review website, which is really cool. Smart Review is a very, very affiliate marketing focused website. Best Buy is obviously an e-commerce site, so we can ignore that. Techalicious, I don't know about that site, but we can have a look if we wanted. Baby Gear Lab, I love that site. I think it's owned by the same guys that run Outdoor Gear Lab. Let's check that one out. So if you wanted to start a site about parenting or wanted to look into that, yeah, it's the same designer. Pretty sure it's the same company. Yeah, it has to be the same company. They basically review everything about baby gear. So, what we could do here is we could click on this and wait for it to load. It loads the same metrics as we saw for consumer search. Go to organic research, and then here we'll be able to see the keywords. So again, we can do the exact same thing here. We can filter by position. We can filter by number of words, which I'm going to do here. Greater than 4, apply. And what do we have here? 7,300. There we go. Perfect. So we can export this data, CSV. Wait for this to load. Download, sorry. Also, I'm sorry if I'm rambling. This is my first screen recording, so I promise they will get better. Yeah. Again, we're just gonna delete these up to there. Delete. I'm gonna delete this and delete this, and then we're just gonna open these up, and then filter. What should we do? Let's have a look. So another thing about smaller sites. What I like to do is I don't like to just filter by best, I like to filter by review. Reason being, review is generally it is product specific mainly. So if we type review now, here we go, like Medela, whatever, pump in style reviews, that's a particular product. The reason I like this is because particular product keywords with plus review are usually a lot lower competition. They usually also have a lot lower amount of results in the SERPs, which is generally a good sign as well. So yeah, the two type of keywords you should be looking at is best XXX, not like adult entertainment. I mean like best baby pump. Sorry, I'm chuckling now. Best baby pump or best stroller or whatever. And the other type of keywords are obviously the review type, which are the product specific ones. So we could have a look at like a keyword like this. Medela pumping style reviews. We could go to Google, type it in, and here there's 119,000 results. That's not a lot. Baby Center, Baby Gear Lab, Amazon.com. We can have a look at it here and see how popular the product is and how much it is. So here we can see it is. How much is it? Where is it? Wow, this is expensive. Oh my god. Oh wow, I didn't expect it to be this expensive. Oh my god, that's really expensive. I thought this would be like a really cheap product, like a $50 product. $270 is great. That would get you a really good commission. And they got 406 reviews. So another thing I like to see is obviously one, the price. That's a really good price. That's excellent. Reviews, good amount of reviews. Then what I do is, a lot of people say you take the reviews and you times it by 10, and that's a sort of how many sales they're getting, but I think that's a load of rubbish. What I like to do is have a look how frequent their reviews are. So we had one 11 hours ago, one 9 days ago, 11 days ago, 1 month ago. That's not very frequent actually. Maybe Christmas screwed that up, but 11 days, 1 month, 1 month, 1 month. Yeah, it's a lot. That's 1 month ago, but it's not getting as many as I would like it to. However, according to our document, it's getting 480 searches per month, so people are still buying it. And for $270, I'd like to just get 1 or 2 sales a day and I'll be happy. So yeah, this keyword looks pretty cool. What we can do with this keyword next is we can take it into Longtail Pro, we can take it into Moz, and actually analyze the keyword difficulty of this tool. Keyword score of this keyword. Keyword difficulty of this keyword. Yes. Okay, so we're going to take this keyword and we're going to go into Moz's keyword difficulty tool, which is here. Set it to United States, which we've done, Google, which we've done, and then go check difficulty. And what this will do is it will pull up the Google search volume, which, just to highlight, isn't 100% accurate because it's going via grepwords, which is a third party, rather than going direct from Google, because I think they changed their API, so it's no longer accessible or something like that. And what it's doing here is just analyzing keyword difficulty between 1 and 100. And yeah, so it's come back with 45%, which is actually quite high. But what we can do here is we can click View. And what it'll do is it'll show us the top 10 results, the domain authority and the page authority. So what we're looking for here is any sites that have a domain authority of, let's say, 20 to 25, as well as a page authority of below 15. And just looking at sort of the strength of each of these. Interestingly, a lot of these are e-commerce sites, which are relevant, I guess, because people are looking for a product. But I would also say, when you're looking at keywords like reviews, like product plus review, I wouldn't ignore the retailers, but I wouldn't say they are your direct competition, because at the end of the day, if someone's looking for a review, yes, they can go onto Amazon and read customer reviews, but it's not quite the same as going onto a third-party website such as Baby Gear Lab here and reading their review. So yeah, also don't get scared off by some of these massive domain authorities when it's coming from the likes of YouTube. Obviously that's a lot different in terms of how to rank a video from YouTube to ranking a website. To be honest, it's not the best keyword. This is probably the only one that I can see which is okay in terms of the strength. Like it's completable. Other than that, obviously Baby Gear Lab at the top, and it's interesting that they've got to the top with a domain authority of 37. However, this comes back to the fact that e-commerce sites aren't the most relevant for product plus review type keywords. I would say that there's definitely room in here for a site, but for 480 searches a month, I wouldn't want to focus too much of my time on this, so I'd probably look elsewhere. So what we can do is we can go back to Moz Pro keyword difficulty, and that's just giving you one example. Obviously, when we're handling this sort of data that we're looking at here, you know, the 20,000, 30,000 queries, we want to be analyzing more than just one keyword at a time. So let's just close this off. Let's go back to here, and then what we can do is we can go back to the Excel sheet. Okay. So which one's this? This one's this one. Okay, go to the Baby Gear Lab. What we can do is we can have a look at keywords that are in position 1, and we can sort it by search volume if we want to. Oops, that's the wrong way. There we go. And what we can do is we can take the first 20. Let me just restyle this because it's just cutting out the screen a little bit. There we go. It's still out of the screen a little bit. Just give me a second. There we go. Change this to count. One of the biggest issues I have with Moz keyword difficulty tool, or just Moz in general, is that you can only copy and paste 20 keywords at a time, which can be annoying if you're doing 750 a day. So what you do is you copy and paste like that, you click check difficulty, then you go back, and you copy and paste the next 20. So you have to be a little bit fast. Moz is a little bit slow today as well. I think it might be something to do with me having over 200 Google Chrome tabs open as well. Doesn't always help. Okay, this is going to be really slow. You get the idea though. What we're doing here is we're having a look at the keyword difficulty tool. And we're having a look at the keyword difficulty just to see if there's any decent potential looking keywords that have low competition. We might not want to enter this market. Obviously it's parenting and baby items, but just to have a look at sort of the range of keywords we have and the range of competition, it's worth looking at. Okay, whilst this is doing whatever it's doing, we can have a look at Longtail Pro. So some of you will be familiar with this, some of you probably won't. This is the software that's owned by Spencer, the guy who runs Niche Pursuits. And yeah, it's a pretty decent tool. I've actually only just started using it again. I used to use it years ago, and then I stopped using it basically, and now I've just downloaded it again a couple of days ago, and I've started using it again now. I just purchased a year subscription because, well, to be honest, I want to check it out. I think it does come with a 30-day trial guarantee, so I think you can get your money back after 30 days, so you can check it out. And also you can pay monthly, I think, and I think it's $19 or $29 a month, or you can just pay yearly. What you can do in here is similar to what you can do in Keyword Difficulty Tool here. In Moz's Keyword Difficulty Tool is you set up a project, so I've just called it OneMansBrand. Click Find Keywords. What we're going to do is let's have a look at a best related keyword. Okay, here we go. Let's just pick one of these. What the hell is a sippy cup? Wow, those are things about. Okay, let's just take this. There's loads of variations of sippy cup. I have no idea what a sippy cup is. It sounds really bizarre. Okay, first actually I want to see what the hell a sippy cup is. Sippy cup. Just sounds strange. Can we? Here we go. Amazon bestsellers. Toddler cups. Is that what it is? Is that what it is? That's a sippy cup. It's just a cup. Oh, one of these. Okay. Oh, it's a cup. Okay. I thought it would be something more, I don't know, technical or something. Okay, so cups. Interesting. Let's check it out anyway. So what we do, we go to Longtail Pro. We copy and paste the keyword. I'm going to take out the full milk and just put best sippy cup so we get more a broader variation. Click add best sippy cup, generate keyword and fetch data. And what this will go and do is go to, I think it links to Google Keyword Planner. I might be wrong in saying that. I think I'm right, and it looks for variations of the main keyword best sippy cup and brings back the data. So here we go. So it's still loading, but I think usually you get about 800 to 900. 801. Google's Keyword Planner limits to 801 per search, so that's why you get at the maximum 801 in Longtail Pro as well. Now, interestingly, I've just downloaded this like 5 minutes ago. I took a pause out of the video. You just didn't realize, haha. And I downloaded a new beta that they have for Longtail Pro, which is the ability to mass calculate keywords. I've literally just done this. 2 hours and 13 minutes. Okay. I didn't realize it'd take that long. Okay, that's quite a long time. There is 800 keywords, so it makes sense, but okay, let's just click fetch now. It should bring some straight away. Wow, that's a long time. This could take a long time if you're doing market research. Well, anyway. Okay, so first here, it's 35. So if you're going to use Longtail Pro, and I'll mention this in the blog post, I would look at keywords for a new site. I'd look at keywords with a keyword competition in Longtail Pro of 35 or less. So that is literally just hitting our mark there, 35. Also, depending on the type of site you're going to build, depends on the keywords that you target. Primary keywords and secondary keywords are going to differentiate. Some people prefer to build out their homepage to target primary keywords. Personally, I usually leave the homepage as being a sort of hub for the website and actually build internal pages rankings for particular keywords. So something like best sippy cup, I might have a domain name of, I don't know, parentingguide2016.com. I would never have that domain, but just for this example. And parentingguide2016.com/best sippy cup would be the page that would primarily target best sippy cup. And then obviously my secondary keywords would be various ones which score less than 35. So hopefully somewhere in here there'll be 20, an 18, a 20, a 22, a 25 sort of keyword competitiveness query which I can target. What's that one? So that's the variation, obviously the pluralized version. Generally speaking, if you're going to target a keyword, a primary keyword, go with the one with the highest volume, so this one, and maybe just add that into your content once or twice, and well, probably just once, and you'll be fine. Obviously, just make sure it's natural. Okay, let's see how keyword difficulty tools doing. Okay, so I've broken Moz. Everything's breaking today. I'm just going to refresh this. Let's remove these. Okay, yeah, so I broke Moz. Okay, let's take these instead. I hope you like. Oh, there we go. I hope you like this video so far. I know it's a little bit long-winded. There's a lot to cover, and every time I speak, I think of other things to mention, but I don't obviously want to confuse you guys too much. I will be making additional videos, hopefully, if you like this one. It's a bit amateurish, this one, I guess. However, it is my first video. Hopefully, videos in the future will be more professional, and maybe a little bit more structured in regards to what I'm talking about. And I also want to be doing additional videos that just primarily focus on each of these pieces of software, Moz Pro, SEMrush, and Lontail Pro, so watch out for those as well. Just to recap what we've done so far is, okay, first off, we looked at authority sites, consumer search. We checked it out in SEMrush like this. We went to positions like this. We gathered some of that data, and we can use some of that data similar to what we're doing right now with the baby related queries. And then we went to competitors, and we had a look at other sites similar to this. We stumbled across Baby Gear Lab, and we started to analyze Baby Gear Lab. And that's where we've got to. Now we're analyzing keywords from Baby Gear Lab. Another thing you can do is, say we go back to Baby Gear Lab on SEMrush, and we like the parenting niche, and we're thinking, yes, okay, this is something we want to check out further. So we're analyzing the keywords like we are at the moment. But another thing you can do is, if you go to organic research and then go to pages, notice new here, it's only been around for I think 2 months, maybe 3 months. What this does is it calls all of the pages that are indexed by babygearlab.com, which you can see there are 631. And this is, to be honest, this is a really good indicator of whether or not, oops, sorry, I just moved my bench, of whether or not the website that you're researching is an authority or not. I would generally say a website with less than 100 pages isn't yet an authority, but could potentially be growing into one. And a website with 500 plus pages is a pretty decent authority. But apart from that, what you can do here, which is really, really cool, is SEMrush will show you the percentage of traffic for each page and the amount of keywords that it's appearing on, which is amazing, because this, when you're setting up a brand new site and you're inundated with data, keyword ideas, content ideas, and you just don't know which direction to go in regards to, what content to write first, this will really, really help you. Take a list of your competitors from Google SERPs, plug them into SEMrush, and have a look. Which pages are their most popular pages, and which pages bring in the most queries? Those two metrics are really, really essential, and will save you a lot of time and potentially money on wasted content that might not have actually resulted in much. So here we can see best stroller, 2,100 queries. Now, I know from experience looking into this industry before, best stroller is a very competitive keyword. However, 2,100 related queries is huge. So I know for a fact that that's going to be product related and really long tail ones. So that could be interesting if you're looking to go into a parenting niche. As a starting point, best strollers. Let's have a look at some others here. 1,694 best practices for handling breast milk. That's interesting, because that's not your normal everyday best product. It's more of it sounds like more of a guide. Oh, there we go, some breasts, interesting. Treat it like liquid gold, blah blah blah. And they're actually pointing to 2 of their product pages there. It's not actually as long as I thought it would be, this article. It's actually a lot smaller than I thought. And it's just an informational article. They obviously promoted their 2 Amazon associate related pages here. And it was only published on the 4th of December. Interesting. Very interesting. it's quite a small article. This would be perfect as well. I wonder what keywords it's coming up for then. So if you want to look at the keywords, I think you just click it, the URL, I think, if I remember correctly. Yes. So what this does is, instead of just looking at Baby Gear Lab on a mass, on the whole site scale, you can look at an individual page, which is also awesome. Click on this, and it will come through here. And then here, what you can see is all of the queries that this particular URL, this page, are appearing for in the SERPs. And obviously, again, you can look at the positions and filter it and so on. So, for example, if you did decide, okay, I'm going to write an article about the best practices for handling breast milk, then download these 1,694 queries, structure them. I really want to show you this, but it's going to be too time consuming. Okay, another video I'll show you this. I'm going to do so many videos. Structure them and basically look for what could be a primary keyword, plug it into Lontel Pro, plug it into Moz Keyword Difficulty Tool, and see which keywords come up as being least competitive, but also providing a decent amount of search volume. And then what you want to do is obviously use these keywords to structure your content. So if you're targeting how to warm breast milk, maybe that's your content page, then that'll be in a H1 title tag, and that'll be your main primary keyword. But also you could split it out. This will also give you ideas of what content to include in the article and how to structure it. For example, so say the content is how to warm breast milk. You start with an introduction, a brief summary to breast milk and warming it. This is a really weird example for me. I don't know much about breast milk, but anyway. You could then move on to having a section about the temperature of breast milk and what's the best temperature. Next, you could move on to product recommendations of the best bottle warmer. Next, you could move on to tips on how to, it is a how to warm breast milk, but you could break it down into smaller subsections. So you could have the best bottle, again, product recommendations. So far we've got the best temperatures, the best product recommendations, a brief summary obviously to start with, and you could have an FAQ section. This is quite cool as well. FAQ section of a page is quite interesting because what you can do is you can target loads of different keyword variants that are questions and answer them at the bottom of your page and then link to them from the top of your page. Google loves this sort of content because it's informational. You've got links from the top of your page, which means Google might actually provide a sublink in your description, meta description, to that actual part of your page, which can often lead to more traffic. So you can have an FAQ page that says, can you warm breast milk in a bottle warmer in a H4 tag or something, and then 200 or 300 words talking about whether you can or not. More product recommendations here for the best breast milk storage system. A question here to how to reheat breast milk. How warm is breast milk? A section on breast milk storage guidelines. Well, it's another couple of questions. Another question. So yeah, I'm very, very surprised this content ranks for all of these keywords. It's a very small article, I think. This is cool though. I always think putting references like this make your website look a lot more of an authority site and more professional. They've cited various studies, and don't be afraid to link out. It won't. When you're linking out to other sites like this, I think Google looks at it and goes, yeah, that's cool, because it shows that you've probably done research into the content you're writing about, especially if you put things like this, like a government article about Centers for Disease Control, and this is about handling breast milk. It's perfect. Do this. Yeah, so this is just one example. Yeah, let's go back to Lontel Pro and see how far we've got. Okay, so that's not doing too bad. It's quite good. We've got through about 50, I think, so far. Okay. We can't filter these properly at the moment because, obviously, the Lontel Pro is still working. But let's see if we can dig out some keywords. So we have the 35 sippy cups for adults. Okay. I don't know why an adult would need a sippy cup. Strange. Okay. Oh, it actually is filtered. Okay, so we've got 21 here. There we go, perfect. Best sippy cups for transitioning from bottle. That's great as a subsection of your page about best sippy cups. put it in a H3 tag or something, and write 500 words about this, and yeah, it'll help. Best cups for toddlers is a little bit of a variant, I guess, so you might struggle to include this in your content without it looking unnatural, but I guess you could split it out between best cups for babies and best cups for toddlers, maybe, I don't know. Straw cups, best sippy cups for toddlers. So there's a couple here which are 21, 23, 24. These are all great keywords to target. Best toddler cups, another good one there. Best sippy cup for milk, perfect. So yeah, so imagine again, like I just mentioned then, having a page about best sippy cups broken down into subsections. So you can have best sippy cup to transition from bottle as a subsection of that page and write about it. You can have best toddler cups, or you could just say best sippy cups for toddlers as another section, and then include this keyword in that section. This is the same as that one, so these two keywords will go together. There's something about milk. Oh, here you go. Best sippy cup for milk. Another subsection would be best sippy cups for milk. I saw something about stainless steel. Here we go. Stainless steel sippy cup. Generally, I wouldn't go after keywords like this primarily because it's not a best and it's not a review. It's just generic product related, and I'd say if Google is trying to look for the most relevant pages, then e-commerce pages that had a facet which filtered to stainless steel sippy cups would be the most relevant. So I wouldn't primarily go after it, but you might see yourself ranking for it, 6 months down the line. Yeah, so let's go back to this. And yeah, so let's see, where's the PowerPoint presentation? What have we covered so far? So we've talked about SEMrush, we've talked about Moz, we've talked about Longtail Pro. I've showed you a slight insight into Microsoft Excel. It's getting up to an hour long now, so I think I don't want to bore you guys for too long, and I want to make sure these structures are not too boring and not too in-depth, information overload sort of thing. So let's cut it short here for today. That's good. Stop looking. Okay, so let's just recap. So you're looking for you're doing your initial market research. Where to start? Consumersearch.com. If you don't want to start here, I'll have a list of other sites that you can start with. But if you get SEMrush, you can do the exact same yourself by just going to competitors. What to look for? Positions. How to filter. Positions of 5 or less. 1 to 5. Queries containing 4 or more keywords. Filter it in Excel. Filter it in Excel by best and review related keywords. Chuck those keywords into Moz Pro and into Longtail Pro. Wait for the results. Put them into Excel. And then what I do is I usually have one for Moz Pro, KC, keyword competition, one for LTP, KC, and then again I will filter them by lowest to highest, and then I'll look at the search volumes next to it, and I'll start to highlight various different ones. So for example, you take this, and then you look at sippy cup, and you copy all of these to a new tab, like this. Copy them, paste them, and you call that best sippy cup. And then this is one potential page for your website. Then you delete them from here. Then you look for another page. Say for example, you found that baby turn. Let's have a look. Oh, here we go. The heat breast milk. How to warm breast milk. You found that the warming breast milk was a cool page as well, and it had decent competition. It was doable. Then you can take all of these and add these to another page, and there you go. That's 2 pages. Oops. Well, you know what I mean. And then best warming methods, whatever you want to call it. And then you just keep doing this until you've got however many pages you want to start with. Initially, I recommend between 5 and 10 content pages to start with. I don't think you need any more than that. And it also depends on how you're doing your SEO. So yeah, we're 15 seconds away from an hour. I'm going to stop this now. If you have any questions at all, please just let me know. I will do my best to answer them. I will also be providing a summary. Oh, sorry, I'm yawning. A summary analysis of what we've talked about in this session. And yeah, I just really look forward to progressing and hopefully sharing more information with you guys. So yeah, thank you very much for watching or listening or both. Yeah, awesome. Bye bye.